Hey folks, thank you so much for taking the time to look at my module for EDIT6220. I'm really excited to share this module with you. It is one that was born out of a very personal issue that I do believe to be somewhat of a global issue at this point. My module is titled Regulate to Resist Self-Soothing Strategies for Fighting Fascism. As I said, this is a pretty time-influenced module. It was born out of the frustration with wanting to stay informed, so being on my phone, watching news on the TV, wanting to know what's going on, but then also experiencing that kind of overwhelm that comes with having too much information and not enough attention to how it is affecting my body. This is also born out of a sentiment that I believe people want to be doing good right now, but that there is an emphasis perhaps or underappreciation of how stress impacts the physical body and how the inundation of a 24/7 news cycle and social media being in our pocket at all time is affecting our physical bodies and our nervous system specifically. So here you can see if I were to click on begin, it would automatically launch into a video. Within the video, you will have the option to stop the video at any time, to return either to this screen or to the main menu. You will notice that there is no main menu here on the left-hand side, which you are used to seeing in most storyline modules. This is one design decision that I would like some feedback on. I think it was a kind of a bold decision. It does take away a level of choice for the user. However, I built in as much choice as I believe that I could onto the actual screens themselves. So the main area that I found challenging and would therefore like feedback on is if the on-screen interactions provide enough autonomy and choice for the users. So I'm actually going to open up Storyline itself right now to kind of show you how this was built and to give you a little more context as to what the navigation looks like, what activities I built, and to ask some specific feedback requests. Alrighty, so here we are inside the back end of my module. As you can see, the introduction scene is kind of the opening scene, and then we have branching into three different sections. The first being dysregulation, the second being regulation, and the third being resistance. You'll see they're numbered 2 through 4 here because the intro scene is numbered as 1. In each of these scenes, you will have a greeting page that looks like this, which gives the user the option to click the start button, triggering a menu that actually has audio and auto advancing script to go along with the audio. So I'm going to click through here for you without playing the audio itself, just to give you a taste of what it will look like. I used 11 Labs to generate the voiceover for this module, and I would like some feedback as to whether or not the voices that I used feel natural and engaging rather than distracting. I used 2 different voices, one voice to do all of the narration for what's on the screens themselves, and then I'll show you real quick. The biggest interactive portion of this course does take place in the final section. You'll see here we have a portion where folks can interact with this activities menu. So essentially what will happen is you will hover over each of these icons here on the screen to reveal a layer that features one of these skills that was taught in an earlier portion of the module. Once you do click begin, you will be sent to the interactive activity itself. Most of these do have voiceovers, and this is where I use a separate voice to kind of signify to the learner that they're no longer being given kind of base course content. They're actually walking through activities to directly calm their nervous system or activate, a part of the vagus nerve to kind of send calming signals throughout their body. So I would like to know if that transition is as effective as I hope that it would be in kind of, demarcating the type of information that each individual is receiving. For a little more information or more context rather about what those interactions actually look like, let's click into Cope Ahead. I would appreciate some feedback on whether or not you found the activity section compelling enough to click through all 4 of those choices, or if you found yourself kind of tired at this point or not really interested and wanting to click out. I would need to make some changes to the navigation there if that is the case. So essentially, for the coping ahead to manage anticipated stressors, this, every time the user clicks next here on the screen, a new piece of text will appear along with the narration. I did not include any option to pause the narration within these sections, and that's another kind of concern that I had, if that feels a little bit too forceful or anything like that. And then this is the only kind of on-screen response section that the learners would have. So this is a text response box, and once it's submitted, the user is not going to see this text again. So there is a tip here to take a screenshot for them to actually have their cope ahead plan. This is my module. I'm very proud of it. I think it is pretty close to what I want it to be. If you have any lingering kind of questions, especially related to the content, if you feel like there was a piece of subject matter that was brought up in the introduction or in one of the information courses that kind of was not recapped in that activity section, that is a blind spot I feel like I do have because I've been staring at this for so long. So please feel free to let me know if there were any of those types of concerns. I'm really looking forward to your feedback. Thank you again for taking a look at this. I hope you enjoy it.